Black and white or colour? How do you choose? There are many videos out there on YouTube telling you how to make the most of colour in your photographs or how to turn them black and white. But in this video, I'd like to concentrate on the why. What is it that fuels our decisions? So I went for a walk in sunny West Yorkshire to take some photos, compare the results and reveal how and when I made my decisions. But of course photography is an extremely subjective medium, so I'd like to hear what you think of my decisions in the comments section below. It wasn't long before I'd found my first shot of the day, walking past an old mill building with a perfectly positioned farm track to lead the eye. With this shot, I think black and white and colour both work. At the end of the day, it comes down to intent, what we want the viewer to get out of the shot. And for me, the black and white version wins it. I just like the timeless effect it gives. A little bit further up the track, I found myself at some stables. However, unlike photographing the horses like a normal person, I found myself photographing a wheelbarrow in a shed. This one is a no-brainer. Although there's lots of deep contrast in the black and white shot, it's all about the complementary blue and yellow colours. This shows exactly what we're looking at, but still holds a bit of intrigue in what the deep shadows might be hiding. With the Shibden Valley opening up behind me, I was on the up. Maybe not in photo quality, but definitely in altitude and body temperature. At the top of the hill, I found a beautiful old decaying Land Rover. In need of a rest, I explored a few angles to see what I could come up with. I settled on this angle. I like the way the nettles, barbed wire and string add to the forgotten nature of the scene. For me, the black and white version just looks a little bit too busy. You lose a lot of the detail in the foreground in the abundance of contrast. This colour version leaves the eye more time to settle and explore the frame, at the same time as not losing the focal point of the Land Rover. As I continued to meander up the valley, I saw a deer in the field. Of course I wasn't quick enough to catch it on camera, so you'll just have to take my word for it. As I entered Laverhead Tunnel, I felt like I was going through a passage into another world, a really interesting spot to take a few more snaps. With this shot, black and white is my preferred choice. The colour version picks up the ferns and draws your eye downwards, whereas the black and white version draws your eye towards the diagonal line between light and shadow and beyond to the vanishing point. In this second photo, my thought in the field was that black and white would give it an air of mystery. But looking at the comparison in post-production, I think the warm light in the colour shot is better at leading the eye. There appears to be more detail and context in the greenery at the end of the tunnel. This third shot is another one that could have gone either way, but again I prefer the colour one. I just think it shows off more detail in the layers and vanishing point and holds the eye in the frame longer than the black and white one does. I was nearing the head of the valley, and despite the name of the area on the map, I found it reasonably peaceful. The temperature was starting to soar, so I was glad to find myself under the shade of the trees, and who can resist some dappled light and a vanishing track? I know I can't. Again, this is a shot where colour and black and white work equally well. Personally, because of the contrast, it was always my intention for this scene to be black and white, so black and white it is. As I continued down the leafy lanes, narrowly avoiding a yapping dog nipping at my ankles, I found another subject that, even in my strongest moments, I would find it difficult to pass by. An overgrown tractor. With this shot, the colour version just pops more. I like the contrast between the sea of green and the red of the tractor. I think in black and white, it just becomes a bit mushy and confuses the eye a little. I was on my way up another rather steep hill, hoping that what met me and my camera at the top would be well worth the photograph. Just like the horse situation earlier on, many people would have gone for the stunning views over Halifax, but me? No. You know me better than that. My destination was the deserted dry ski slope. In this comparison, the colour shot wins it again for me. I think the blocks of colour really separate the layers in the shot. The black and white version doesn't have the same effect of separating the scene and leading the eye. My walk was nearly over. I just had one last chance to look back along the stunning Shibden Valley, and the sound of the A58 echoed back into my ears. It had been a successful day with lots of interesting things to photograph. Out of the 9 photographs I took, I decided to turn 3 black and white and keep 6 as colour. I would say that the majority of the decisions that I made out in the field based upon the intent that I had at the time of making the shot. There were a few shots where I made the decision at the post-production stage, when I could see a comparison. The photos I decided to turn black and white were based upon the contrast within the scene, a bit of historical context, and potentially simplifying the frame. In the photos I decided to keep as colour, my decisions were often based upon the fact that the amount of colour and the contrast of it stood out, and it was the main reason for taking the shot in the first place. There's no right or wrong way of making a decision whether to go black and white or keep as colour, as long as it suits the type of photograph that you've made. Hopefully, the comparisons that you've seen in this video have helped you to understand some of the reasons that I consider when making that all-important decision. As I said at the beginning, I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please share them with me in the comments section below. And also, if you've liked this new photo walk format to the video, then please give it a like and I'll make some more. Now, if you'd like to learn about the best ways to turn your photographs black and white, then watch this video next.